We are back to break down most of, but not all, the times Telltale's The Walking Dead connected to Robert Kirkman's comics. We are talking about seasons 1 through 4, but not the Michonne DLC, because honestly, that's like an entire panel to screen on its own. If you're very nice in the comments, maybe we'll do it later. It goes without saying, but we've got to say it. Spoiler alert! You've had your shot, it's ending right now. I'm Woody Tondorf, you're a shitbird, and this is Panel to Screen. Our first connections come right off the bat in Season 1, Episode 1, starting with Rhee and Clementine taking a road trip to Hershel Greene's farm. Hey! Rhee and Clem arrive at the farm with Hershel's son, Sean. They stay the night with Kenny and his family, and the next day everyone has a nice breakfast, tends to a fence, and reacts helplessly when Sean is trapped under a tractor and attacked by zombies. Sean gets bit, Hershel is understandably upset and kicks everyone out, and we don't see Sean again until issue 11 of The Walking Dead, where Hershel reveals he's been keeping Sean, and everybody else in the county it seems, in his barn. You know how this goes. The zombies get out, zombie Sean bites his own family, and Hershel has to put him down. I can't help but feel bad for Hershel. He kinda does this stuff to himself, but that barn, man, it's a factory of sadness. Our next connection comes after the farm, same episode. Rhee, Clem, and Kenny's family are saved by another group of people, including Glenn. Oh right, he's got the hat and everything. People love baseball hats in The Walking Dead, guys. The rest of your interactions are vintage Glenn. He's useful, he's positive, he forages with the best of them. You only get to hang out with Mr. Maggie Green for a short time before he decides he should check in on his friends in Atlanta, but it's fun to hang out with a legend while you can. Glenn never again mentions this time to anybody in the comics, but we like to think that from time to time, Glenn wonders what happened to those crazy kids from the pharmacy. Flash forward to Season 3, Episode 2, where Clementine is older, wiser, and depending on your playstyle, missing a finger.
Oh my god!
Life is hard. She and the group are having an argument when they realize there's a creeper watching them from afar. They go after him but fall for a pretty obvious ruse, which devolves into a funny sequence of people pointing guns at other people's backs and demanding that they talk. The guy they found is Paul Monroe, aka Jesus. We see him a few times through the season, once in his classic long coat and beanie, and finally in his badass hilltop armor sporting the man bun of destiny. This doesn't really connect to the comics with the exception of a couple throwaway lines about other people and having to handle stuff outside of Richmond, but he does get a moment to flirt with Javier, which is fun.
You're a fucking badass.
You're a real charmer. You know that? Through and through.
Our last connection comes in the final season, and it is probably the wildest one we'd seen so far. In Episode 2, Clementine is lost in the woods with AJ, who's just chilling with a shotgun wound. They're surrounded by walkers, and Clem goes to stab one, but it grabs her by the wrist and tells her, oh shit, it's a Whisperer! For those of you who don't read the comics or watch the show, why are you watching this first of all? The Whisperers are a faction of survivors who wear dead people's skin and talk real soft so they can walk amongst the zombies without issue. They are weird, to say the least. They're also usually hardcore murderers, but this guy James is actually very nice and quite handsome. I'm not sure where this guy found product in the apocalypse, but his hair is amazing! This character's appearance is also a little light in terms of direct connections to the books, but James does mention that he left the Whisperers after they got into a major fight with another group, which gives a possible reference to the Whisperer War starting around issue 151. So now he's free of the Whisperer lifestyle, but God love him, he still wears around a dead guy's face and keeps a barn full of walkers just because he can. You can take the boy out of the Whisperers, but you can't take the Whisperer out of the boy, as the well-known saying goes. And that's it for this episode of Panel to Screen. Don't forget to tell us which was your favorite comic connection, and don't forget to pick up The Walking Dead, the definitive series on Skybound.com. It's all 4 seasons, plus Michonne, plus 400 days, plus all sorts of toys, statues, and a Disco Broccoli plush. Disco Broccoli is life. I'm Woody Tondorf, thanks for watching, and don't forget to smash that like button, not unlike AJ, smacking some people in the dick.